Renegade Row is an excellent torso stabilization exercise, and once you get the feel for it and you have the stability to do it with just your body weight, you can start adding weight, and it also becomes a great upper body rowing exercise. So to do it, you want to get set up in essentially a push-up position or an elevated plank position, but you want to bring your hands a little bit closer together, and you want to spread your feet a little bit wider than you would rather than when you're in a push-up position. So to start off with body weight, you're going to get into that position. You also want to make sure that you've got a nice straight line from your shoulders down to your hands, that you don't have your weight shifted back, and that just puts a little bit of pressure on your shoulders. It's not necessary. So hands right under your shoulders, body in a nice straight line, and like I said, feet out a little bit wider, bring your hands in closer together. So to start, you're just going to do some elbow touches. And you should feel right away your abdominals working to resist the rotation with your hips. You want to keep your body nice and still and just try to move your arms as you touch your elbows. So the next progression from the elbow touches would be to bring your hand up right next to your side. And again, you're just going to resist that rotation. And notice when I'm doing this, I'm keeping my body in a nice straight line. Keep your abdominals engaged. You don't want to be doing this, which really takes all of the work out of your abdominals. And you may feel like you got your body in a nice straight line, nice plank position, and you start to do the exercise, and it feels like it's getting a little easier. Well, tendency is that your hips start to shift back. You start to raise your hips up, and it just becomes a little bit easier as you go. So once you've got it down just with body weight, you've done the elbow touches, you've done bringing your hand up by your side, you want to start to add some weight and increase the difficulty. So you want to start by using dumbbells, and I'd say start with about 5 pounds. Like I keep saying, you want to do something and think that it was easy and think that you're able to progress with the exercise rather than jumping in and potentially hurting yourself. So again, hands in closer together, the dumbbells should be right next to each other. Nice plank position, shoulders down and back. That's another thing. You don't want to let your shoulders hunch forward, start getting into that rounded posture. Feet a little bit wider from each other. And you should be at the point where you're able to row the weight up to your side. Obviously, you're not going to be doing elbow touches with that. So another thing, when you start adding weight, you start adding the dumbbells, or I'm going to show you in just a second doing the exercise with kettlebells. You also get some great wrist stabilization. So you may find that you're able to do the Renegade Row with just your body weight fairly easy, and then you jump into using dumbbells, and your weak link becomes your wrist. So make sure that you've got a nice straight line in your wrist, and you're not doing that. You're not letting your hands bend way back, putting a lot of pressure on that wrist joint. Keep a nice straight line and find where it's most comfortable in your hand. When you're gripping that dumbbell, you're gonna be putting a lot of pressure on your hand when you've got it you're holding it. So some people find just sort of that natural groove in your hand is comfortable. Some people like to kind of shift it so you put it on that sort of soft part where your thumb is at in your hand. So once you've got it mastered with dumbbells, if you have access to them, they're becoming more and more popular, you can use a pair of kettlebells. So this just increases the difficulty even more. Now you've got sort of an unsteady or an unstable surface that you have to deal with, and just have to be able to stabilize with your midsection even more. So here we go, using kettlebells. Start a little bit lighter, whatever you have available. You should progress with the dumbbells to about 20 pounds before you even think about starting with the kettlebells, because you really need to have the stabilization to lift the weight up and lower it under control. So here we go. Feet out a little bit wider. Make sure you've got the kettlebells right in next to each other. A nice straight line from your shoulders down to your hands, down to the kettlebells. Body in a nice straight line, keeping your torso nice and straight, nice and strong, shoulders down and back. And you're going to row up, under control, place that kettlebell back down. Row up, place place that kettlebell down. So as you're rowing, you may find, I've done it, it's happened, I've seen some of my clients do it, that you try to rush it, and if you're trying to rush it, chances are the kettlebell is going to roll, and that's just something that you don't want to happen. It's not as bad as it looks, but obviously you just want to avoid any potential things that are going to help you, get you injured. So make sure that you don't get, think that you're doing great and start to rush through it. Pick the kettlebell up, place it back down, make sure it's set. Pick the other kettlebell up, place it down, make sure it's set. So there you have it, the Renegade Row, progressing from body weight to dumbbells to kettlebells. It's a great torso stabilization and upper body exercise.